Hello, we're back. Another High Tide Imbibe. It's been a little while since I've done a live review, about a month or so, I guess. Yeah. The last thing you saw was a spring session, quote unquote, that I had recorded a couple weeks previous and finally got out and put out. And haven't been drinking beer for most of June, like last half of the week of May and up until like half of the week of June. Just off on, did a whole month. Didn't have any beer. Did have some healthy cocktails of various sorts. Healthier cocktails, anyway. But that was where I limited my drinking to. Yeah, it's just something I did. So, we have a new one, new to me anyway. Again, I always sort of preface this. New to me. I don't know. It might have been out several times, but it's first time me coming across it and seeing it. This is from the very excellent Two Crows Brewing from here in Nova Scotia. This is their Green World Double IPA at 8.5% alcohol by volume, and I really dig that can art. It's pretty spectacular. Very, very nice. One of their prettiest looking cans, and they generally have pretty good labels on their cans to begin with. So this is really, really pretty. I like it. So 8.5% alcohol by volume. Like I said, 88 IBUs. They say strong beer. Water, barley, hops, yeast. Anything else important on this? I mean, they say citrusy, bold, piney. I assume they're going for West Coast double IPA. It seems like the thing they're doing here. So it's Two Crows doing like a very traditional style, a little bit, honestly, kind of out of their wheelhouse a little bit. Usually Two Crows is doing like some sort of either Belgian influenced or straight up like Belgian style thing, or sours and all kinds of other shit. And, usually it turns out pretty good. Like I said, really excellent brewery. Nice to see them just doing like a standard classic style here. Packaged on 23/05/2023. So last month. Into last month. So it's pretty fresh. And I'm expecting a big dank beer. Hopefully. We'll see what they do with this. That was a shitty pour. Oh, well, I guess it turned out okay. Was not my best pour, though. That's for sure. At least it wasn't a J. Terrio pour, where he just turns the fucking can upside down and dumps it in the glass like a fucking hillbilly. Okay, let's... Ooh. Aren't you pretty? So it looks like a brilliant, like almost burnt orange on camera, like you guys seeing it. That's kind of what it looks like. But to me, it's a just like straight up, like kind of light copperish in the amber spectrum kind of thing. Very, very nice. Very pretty beer. Nice, pretty tight, fluffy head there as well. Feels like it's going to stick around pretty good. And interestingly enough, I'm not getting like a big waft of aroma from this distance. So I guess we just gotta like dig right in and see what we see. Ooh. Oh, that smells good. There's definitely a very fresh smelling green hop kind of character there. Kind of piney. Not getting a ton of citrus out of the nose. Your results may vary, of course. At the same time, it's not super punchy for like a double IPA. It's very fragrant, but not super intense. It's not like walking down like the air freshener aisle of the grocery store or something like that. It's not like evasively, uh, fragrant. It's just very, you put your nose in and it pops up. Very subtle. Not subtle, but I mean it's intense in a small way, I guess. It just smells very good. Uh, so like I'm saying, like piney kind of hop character there, and a good malty background to it as well. Like pretty much equal parts caramelish kind of malt character there. So this is smelling like a very classic, like West Coast double IPA kind of thing to me. And I'm here for it. So if the taste actually follows up with this aroma, I think we're going to be good. So, cheers, and we will get into the drink right now. Mm. Mm. Interesting. So, usually when you get like a big double IPA, you expect it to be super bitter in the back. You expect like a lingering, intense bitterness. Usually something that's kind of like a little pine influence, but generally like, you're gonna get like a lot of grapefruit kind of note jumping out as well. Um, Not so much here. Like those elements are there, but like the finish is a lot subtler than the actual like beginning of the drink. Um, in fact, it's very like dialed down on the finish. The finish is kind of almost clean and smooth, strangely enough. It's really the initial like part of the sip that brings like this big punch of like pine with a little bit of a citric kind of grapefruity sort of thing around it. It's not super pronounced, but it's kind of there. But it's very much about like the pine and the caramel, like right up front. Now maybe this will differ as I drink into it. I'm hoping to get a little bit more out of this. Mm. Okay, now I'm starting to get a little bit more lingering bitterness. It's not necessarily back of the throat. It's more on the tongue, um, roof of the mouth kind of thing. It's a dry bitterness. It's not super grapefruity or anything like that. But there's a little element of that. If anything, that pine flavor is really carrying over just that sort of pine fir tree kind of thing is really carrying over into the finish as well. Hmm. It's so it's not super complex, and honestly, I don't care if a IPA or a double IPA is super complex. I don't give a shit. Honestly, I don't give a shit about that with almost any beer style, really. I might make an exception with like a bourbon barrel aged imperial stout or something like that. Then I kind of want like, hey, give me 10 different flavors throughout the entire the entire drink. But with something like this, no, 1, 2, 3 punch of something. Just a nice little combo. And this has it. This is really, really good. The 8.5% alcohol by volume. kind of feel it, but kind of don't, which is, I'd say, semi-dangerous. It's a semi-dangerous beer. It drinks pretty smooth for a double IPA, but I mean, as you get into it, you do kind of get its intensity. Um, yeah, this is really good. I'm definitely picking more of these up. A lot of that caramel actually comes out in the finish as well. That sort of caramel malt character. This is very old school, but like slightly reconfigured in a different way than I'm used to. So it's a double IPA that kind of brings the punch up front and mellows out by the end. And even then, the finish ain't bad. I ain't saying the finish is bad or anything like that either. I really like it. Style wise is even though it's different and it kind of like goes a little bit against what I know the style to be in my mind. I'm gonna throw an 8 at it because innovation deserves applause, especially if it's good innovation, and I think it's good innovation. They're taking like a traditional style and they're kind of like putting their little twist on it in a sense where they're just like they're giving you something different than you expect from a traditional style. My own personal preference, I'm going to throw 8.5. I like it a lot. It's something I could pick up all the time and have as, hey, here's my 8.5% beer amongst like all these more smaller alcohol maintenance beers that I drink during the day or something like that. Like this is the good, like, either to start out with or the cap off with, or, it's like the mid beer. You've had a few light beers and then you want to just kick it up a little bit, maybe get your buzz going up a little bit, and then you mellow out with some more light beers or whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, 8 for style, 8.5 for my own personal preference. Another winner from Two Crows. This is their Green World Double IPA, and it is pretty damn good. It's a it's kind of a more accessible double IPA, really, when I think about it. Like when I think of other ones that have been around in the Maritimes and are around currently in the Maritimes, a lot of them are, they go for the throat, they go for the super bitterness. And this is 88 IBUs, but it doesn't feel like it. Like they could have told me this was 50 IBUs and I would have believed them. As trustworthy as the IBU scale actually is when it comes to actually what you experience in your mouth, that's a whole different discussion. But generally, as a rule, you can kind of loosely go by IBUs a lot of the time. And it's one of the times where it's like it doesn't really work that way. 88 IBUs, I don't really detect it. So, you could have told me 50. You could have told me this is a regular IPA at 6.5%. I would have believed you. Such as it is with the craft beer world. Yes. I got nothing else to say, but I'm rambling on and wasting your time. I apologize, but thank you for watching, as always. And I'm going to get the fuck out of here. So cheers, and let me exit out of this crap. Bye.